A single handbag that costs more than most people earn in an entire year. A creature stretched out to over 20 feet long, its skin worth thousands of dollars per square inch. In the shadows of Southeast Asian jungles, hunters track these giants through swamps and undergrowth, knowing that one perfect catch could change their lives. This isn't fiction. This is the hidden world behind every luxury python handbag sitting in a boutique window, and what happens between the snake and the store shelf will shock you. The journey begins in the dead of night. In remote Indonesian villages like Cirebon, professional snake catchers move through darkness, armed with nothing but experience and raw courage. They're hunting reticulated pythons, potentially the world's longest snakes, creatures that can grow beyond 6 meters and command premium prices in the exotic leather market. Indonesia alone employs roughly 170,000 snake catchers, and these aren't casual hobbyists. For many, this dangerous profession provides their family's primary income. The hunters wade through murky swamps, navigate tangled jungles, and search residential gardens, where these massive predators sometimes take refuge. When they finally locate a python, the real challenge begins. These aren't docile animals. They're ambush predators with incredible strength, and capturing one alive requires skill that takes years to master. Once captured, snakes are placed into sacks and transported to slaughterhouses, where the transformation from living creature to luxury material begins. What happens next is where the industry's darkest secrets emerge. And animal welfare organizations have documented practices that many consumers never imagine when admiring a designer bag. In Indonesia, pythons are often struck on the head with mallets or hammers, but the method varies dramatically by country, and some practices raise serious ethical concerns. In Vietnam, workers seal the mouths and anuses of live pythons with rubber bands, then use compressed air to inflate the animals while they're still conscious. Why? Because inflating the body makes the skin easier to remove, and that stretched skin means fewer imperfections in the final product. The snakes can remain aware throughout this process, experiencing what experts describe as prolonged suffering. Organizations like PETA have released footage showing pythons still moving, still struggling, as workers begin removing their skin. Indonesia is the world's largest snakeskin exporter, and Italy stands as the biggest consumer, purchasing these skins to craft products that eventually flood American stores. The United States accounts for roughly 50% of Italian exports in this category, with Japan taking another quarter. But here's what most shoppers don't realize. Tracing the origin of any specific python skin product is nearly impossible. Many luxury brands cannot definitively state where their python leather originated, and trade regulations contain loopholes that illegal operators exploit regularly. The underground snakeskin trade is massively lucrative, and without proper documentation, that designer bag could easily come from sources with zero oversight. After slaughter comes processing, a complex chemical transformation that converts raw skin into workable leather. The skins are first measured and sorted by size, then cut into strips and dried, sometimes in industrial ovens, sometimes laid out under direct sunlight. Python skins destined for high-end fashion houses then travel to tanneries, specialized facilities where chemical treatments prevent the leather from decomposing. This tanning process uses substances like chromium and formaldehyde, powerful chemicals that permanently alter the skin's fiber structure. Natural, untreated leather would biodegrade within months, but chemically tanned python skin can persist for decades, even centuries, which creates its own environmental nightmare. Southeast Asian tanneries often struggle with proper chemical disposal, and contaminated water from these facilities threatens local ecosystems. The environmental cost extends far beyond the snake itself, but here's where the price starts making sense to luxury manufacturers. Python skins vary enormously in size. Smaller specimens might measure only 1.5 meters long and 25 centimeters wide. However, the giants of the species can reach 6.5 meters in length with widths exceeding 60 centimeters. That size difference determines everything. Larger skins mean fewer seams in the final product, which translates to higher quality and dramatically increased value. A handbag requiring 3 separate python skins could retail for $5,000 or more, while a bag crafted from a single, massive skin commands prices that seem absurd to anyone outside the luxury market. The biggest python skins available max out at 60 centimeters wide, which means truly large bags require either multiple skins carefully matched and seamed together, or they simply cannot be made from python at all. Manufacturers purchasing python leather have multiple sourcing options, each with different implications for cost and production timeline. Tanneries process skins to order, allowing custom colors and finishes, but they require minimum orders and charge setup fees whether you're ordering 1 skin or 100. Every custom job carries additional expense. Distributors offer a faster alternative, maintaining stockpiles of already finished skins in popular colors, ready for immediate shipment. These distributors buy bulk quantities from tanneries, then resell to designers and manufacturers at marked up prices. For smaller brands or designers working under tight deadlines, distributors provide the only practical option. Fashion shows and product launches wait for no one, and having finished python leather available immediately justifies the premium pricing. The manufacturing process itself demands exceptional skill. Creating a luxury python handbag isn't factory assembly line work. Craftspeople must carefully select skins with matching patterns and minimal flaws. Grade 1 skins, the industry's highest classification, come predominantly from farmed pythons rather than wild-caught specimens. Why? Because wild pythons accumulate scars, scratches, and skin damage from their natural environment. Predators attack them. Branches fall on them. They squeeze through tight spaces that leave marks. Farmed pythons, raised in controlled conditions, produce cleaner skins with fewer imperfections. Every visible flaw on the final handbag reduces its value, so manufacturers pay premium prices for pristine leather. Once selected, the skins must be measured, cut, and assembled with precision that rivals haute couture garment construction. The patterns on python skin create another layer of complexity and value. Each snake's natural scaled pattern is unique, like a fingerprint. Some manufacturers bleach the skins to remove these distinctive markings, creating a cleaner, more uniform appearance that some designers prefer. Others celebrate the natural patterns, ensuring customers can instantly recognize their purchase as genuine python rather than embossed imitation. And imitations flood the market. Fake python bags use embossed cowhide or calf skin, heated and pressed to mimic snake scales, but the differences reveal themselves under scrutiny. Authentic python skin has genuine, three-dimensional texture that embossing cannot replicate. The raised and recessed scales create depth that two-dimensional stamping simply cannot achieve. Unscrupulous sellers use deceptive language, marketing bags as python-like or genuine leathering python style rather than actual python skin. The price tags on authentic python handbags span an enormous range. Entry-level python accessories from mid-tier luxury brands might start around $3,000. High-end fashion houses, like Gucci price, the python handbags between $8,000 and $12,000. Typically, but Hermes operates on an entirely different level. A standard Hermes Birkin bag in regular leather starts around $9,000. Python versions try doubling or tripling that baseline. Some Hermes Python bags easily exceed $40,000, and special editions with unique colors or rare skin types push prices into six figures. The most expensive Birkin bag ever sold, crafted from Himalayan crocodile leather with diamond-encrusted hardware, brought over $400,000 at auction. Python versions haven't quite reached that stratosphere, but they're climbing steadily. Why would anyone spend a year's salary on a handbag? The answer lies partly in exclusivity. Hermes deliberately limits production, creating artificial scarcity that drives demand through the roof. You cannot simply walk into an Hermes store and purchase a Birkin bag, even with unlimited funds. The company employs what insiders call the bouncer rule. Only established customers who have already spent significant amounts at Hermes stores receive invitations to purchase these bags. New customers get turned away regardless of how much money they're carrying. This backwards sales model, where merchants choose their customers rather than vice versa, only works for the most elite luxury products in existence. The waiting list strategy isn't even a list. It's a relationship-based invitation system that guarantees only the right people own these bags. Financially, Python and exotic leather bags have performed remarkably well as investments. Between 1984 and 2015, Birkin bags generated average annual returns of 14%, outperforming both gold and the stock market during that same period. Some rare models have doubled in value within a decade. The ultra-luxury market shows surprising resilience during economic downturns, maintaining value even when traditional investments crash. For wealthy collectors, these bags function as wearable assets, portable stores of value that also provide social status and aesthetic pleasure. Pre-owned Birkin bags often sell for prices matching or exceeding their original retail cost, particularly in Asian markets, where demand continues accelerating, but the python skin trade faces mounting pressure. Environmental organizations point to sustainability concerns and population impacts. Because hunters often capture pythons before they reach full maturity, many females never reproduce, which threatens future populations. Monitoring python populations proves exceptionally difficult because they're cryptic, sedentary ambush predators that spend most of their time concealed. Previous sustainability assessments relied heavily on data from hunters and traders themselves, obviously problematic sources for objective information. Harvest quotas have been set based on previous harvest levels rather than scientific population studies. Recent proposals suggest monitoring activities at slaughterhouses rather than in the wild, where data on snake sizes and maturity could provide better sustainability metrics. Animal welfare concerns have prompted some luxury brands to reconsider exotic skins entirely. Chanel announced in 2018 that it would stop using fur in exotic skins, becoming the first major luxury house to make such a commitment. The decision cited difficulty sourcing these materials ethically, acknowledging that supply chain transparency remains practically impossible. Other major brands continue using python and exotic leathers while claiming to source only from farms meeting humane standards. Yet investigations repeatedly reveal disconnects between corporate claims and actual conditions. The Python Conservation Partnership, established partly by luxury conglomerate Kering, aims to improve sustainability and welfare standards. But critics argue these initiatives serve more as public relations than meaningful reform. The future of Python luxury goods sits at a crossroads. Consumer awareness of animal welfare issues continues growing, particularly among younger luxury buyers. Simultaneously, demand from emerging markets drives prices ever higher. Technology offers potential solutions. Some companies now produce biofabricated materials that mimic exotic leather textures without animal involvement. These alternatives improve steadily in quality and reduce costs over time. Whether they can match the prestige and status signaling of genuine exotic leather remains uncertain. For now, the Python handbag trade continues, connecting remote Indonesian villages to Paris boutiques, swamp hunters to Park Avenue shoppers, all through a supply chain that few consumers fully understand. That $40,000 Python Birkin sitting in a store window represents far more than craftsmanship and materials. It embodies an entire hidden world of midnight hunts, chemical processing, ethical controversies, and luxury economics that most buyers never consider when they reach for their credit cards.